It was me. It was my face, except one of my eyes was missing. This story contains graphic content of torture, so viewer discretion is advised. While checking the notifications on my phone, my eyes drifted to the corner of the screen. A link someone had sent to my email. It was from an anonymous sender. I set down the sandwich I'd just made for breakfast and clicked the video link. I work as a barista in a small local coffee shop. My life is pretty simple. I'm always friendly to people. Never had an argument with a customer. I mean, there's really no reason for someone to pull a sick prank on me like this. The video began with someone fiddling with a camera. When their hands moved away, the footage stayed blurry for a few seconds, but I could already make out someone sitting on a chair with their head hanging down. When it focused, I froze. The person's hands and feet were zip-tied to the chair, a pool of red spread beneath him. I knew exactly what it was. Blood. It was dripping from cuts all over the body. His white t-shirt was torn to shreds, but I recognized it. Our work uniform. The wounds looked black on the grainy camera. Since the angle didn't show his face, I could only tell his head was tilted forward from the way his hair fell. I grabbed my phone, ready to call the police, but then I stopped. I didn't know where this was filmed or when, except maybe I did. The background looked familiar. The mop, the jars on the shelves. It was the storage room behind my cafe. At first, the only sound was the buzzing of fluorescent lights. Then, I heard something else. Soft, whimpering. The bound man. He started crying, begging in a faint voice. No, please. That's when another figure entered the frame. Plaid flannel shirt, jeans, boots. He was huge, maybe 6'5", and his hand held a knife. He stepped up to the tied-up guy and swung a punch so hard it shook his whole body. Then he grabbed his head, forcing it upward. The veins in his neck bulged. The man raised the knife. I couldn't see the cut itself, but the piercing scream that followed told me everything. It was so shrill that the mic cut out at times. Blood poured from his throat like someone had dumped a bucket of it. I gagged, spitting up the bite of the sandwich I had just taken. And it wasn't just blood. Some whitish, slimy substance leaked out with it. Something wet hit the floor. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. Veins, tissue, dripping red. The guy's screams turned into heartbreaking sobs. The man finally pulled his hands away and turned to the camera. His hands were drenched in blood, so much that his pale skin didn't even show. He picked up the camera and a smear of blood streaked across the lens. Now it was handheld. He tilted it down toward the tied-up man, still slumped on the chair. Look at me. The guy didn't respond. Maybe unconscious. I said, look at the camera. He grabbed his chin, forcing his face towards the lens, and I nearly fell out of my chair. It was me. It was my face, except one of my eyes was missing. Where my right eye should have been, there was only blood and that slimy, mucus-like stuff. Cuts covered the rest of my skin. Dried clumps of blood matted my hair. I looked barely human. The man turned my head left and right, like a trophy, while I sobbed. What a perfect face, he muttered. He let go, and my head flopped forward again. The camera pulled back, showing my whole body tied to the chair. Then, it turned toward a metal table. On it sat a single object, a handgun. The man picked it up, checked the chamber. It was full. Then he turned the camera back to me. My one remaining eye widened in panic. My limp body suddenly thrashed like a fish out of water. No, don't. Don't do it, please, I screamed. The man laughed, the same laugh that would haunt me later. Then, bang, the video ended. It had to be a prank. I mean, I never even experienced anything like that. Maybe they hired an actor who looked like me. Still, when I replayed the part where my face was shown, the resemblance was exact. Same eye color, same birthmark above my eyebrow. Why would anyone go to such insane lengths just to mess with me? I tried contacting the sender, but the email was unreachable. I considered calling the police, but what would I even say? No crime had technically happened. The clock on my computer read 8:50 a.m. I was already late for work. I forced myself to leave the video behind as the most disturbing thing I'd ever seen and headed to the cafe. The whole day, I was a wreck. Messed up orders, spaced out at the register. Every time my mind drifted, I saw the blood-soaked version of me, heard the scream, heard the shot. Near closing time, I was wiping down the counter, finally starting to forget, when the bell above the door jingled. Sorry, we're I froze, mid-sentence. Plaid flannel shirt, jeans, boots. Can't you make an exception for me? The man who just entered asked, leaning against the counter. Just an espresso, please. The determination in his eyes made my skin crawl. I instinctively backed away, bumping into the counter and knocking over a cup. New on the job, huh? A little clumsy. He laughed, the same laugh from the video. My blood turned to ice. He pulled out a chair, sat down, never breaking eye contact. That's okay. I'll wait. I'm writing this now from the storage room. The door, locked behind me. I haven't called the police yet, but I will. I just don't know what to say. Should I mention the video? If anyone reads this, please tell me what I should do. I inhaled sharply as I heard footsteps approaching the storage room door. He, he's coming. Thank you for staying until the end of the show. I appreciate you giving me some of your time, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you can tell me what you enjoyed about today's episode, that will help me so I can know what things to give you more of. This story came from Reddit user underscore darklights, so I hope you enjoyed it and comment down below if you did. The original story for this episode will be in the description below. And if you want to hear more of my voice, you can listen to all the episodes in this series here. This is typically the part of the show where I tell you how you can find me on Spotify and other places, but part of the reason I was gone for so long was because Spotify actually took down my entire show. According to them, I was uploading content from Inviso Dark when I wasn't allowed to, even though I am Inviso Dark. I tried to fight them to return my show back to me for months, but I got no helpful or useful replies from them, and they literally told me there was nothing I can do, and they denied all of my appeals. So, and that's why you haven't seen as much of me as of recent, but worry not, because until I find a solution, YouTube will be my home for now, where you can catch my daily, yes, daily episodes of chilling stories from the dark. That's me, by the way. I'm the dark. And if you have a story that you'd like to recommend to me, you can reach out to me via Reddit, Discord, or email. Those methods of communication will also be in the description down below. Again, if you enjoyed today's episode, tune in for the next story or just go back and watch the last one. But until then, I hope you watch the shadows that lurk just beyond your sight. Thank you for listening, and to all, a good night.